Hi, this is Sarah Harkness from an accountancy, and we just wanted to have a quick look, a brief overview of yesterday's autumn budget statement. Now, this was the first autumn budget which has been released in November since way back in 1996, and an awful lot's changed since then. But in this budget we didn't find a huge amount really to either offend or excite us. But let's have a look. What did we learn? So modern budget speeches are never a complete surprise, and this year's was no exception, with rumours abounding, and some might say the most leaked speech ever. So what did we expect to hear? Well, we expected to see some money invested in R&D and more money for infrastructure, especially with driverless cars expecting to increase in the years to come. We expected potentially a tax on single-use plastic items such as disposable takeaway dishes, so it became termed as the takeaway tax. We also worried that there might be further tax increases for self-employed and SMEs, and we were quite concerned that there may be talk of, or there certainly was talk of lowering the VAT threshold, and some even indicated that that might come down as low as £25,000 per annum, which would have a massive impact on an awful lot of businesses, especially businesses selling direct to the consumer who are not yet anywhere near the current VAT threshold of £85,000. So while the Chancellor did look at the outlook for the economy as a whole, let's focus here on what that means for the individuals and small businesses out there. First and foremost, the Chancellor removed with immediate effect stamp duty land tax for first-time buyers on properties of up to £300,000 sales value. And this, of course, is in the hopes to stimulate the economy, get more people on the property ladder and into the housing market at that level, which has been quite stagnant for some time now. For those who are able as a first-time buyer to afford slightly more expensive homes, that band on properties up to £500,000 sales value is 0% in the first £300,000 and then 5% thereafter. So while that's great news, we do hope that it doesn't have the adverse effect of encouraging vendors to increase their prices at that lower level and provide further problems for first-time buyers. In terms of income tax, the personal allowance has been increased again by another £350 to £11,850 before any income tax is incurred, and the higher rate threshold has also been increased by £1,000, meaning that the 40% income tax bracket is only reached at £46,350 of salary. The main ISA limits remain unchanged at £20,000 per year, which you can contribute, although the junior ISAs limits did increase slightly in line with inflation to £4,260 per annum. Capital gains tax exemptions also increased by £400 to £11,700, and the lifetime allowance for pension contributions also increased, this by £30,000 to a lifetime allowance of £1,030,000, which doesn't seem like an awful lot on the face of it, but with the fact that you can take 25% of your pension tax-free at the age of 55, that does equate to an extra £16,500 of tax-free money when you do draw down your pension, if that's applicable to you. So employees who are likely to be on maternity or paternity leave next year will see an increase in the length of time that you can take a pause from paying into your Save As You Earn employee share scheme from 6 months to 12 months. For those of you on national living wage at the moment, you will see an increase from April 2018 of 4.4% from the £7.50 that it is currently to £7.83 per hour, and that equates to about £600 in your pocket over the course of a year. So as far as business and taxes for business in this budget, we did see an announcement that there'd be over £500 million worth of investment in the technology sector, and also another £500 million or so of investment in initiatives that will support the growth in electric vehicles. Thankfully, the VAT threshold remained unchanged, and unfortunately, while there was an increase in R&D tax credits, this was limited to large companies and not rolled out further to the SME area, which really is the backbone of R&D in our country. So let's hope that that is something which comes again later. There's also some good news on business rates, with the Chancellor confirming that he was going to bring forward the proposed move from business rates being based on the retail price index as they currently are to a consumer price index, which was originally proposed for April 2020. This will now be in April of next year. There are estimates that this will save businesses about £2.3 billion in tax. He will also have thousands of small business owners celebrating the fact that the so-called staircase tax is to be abolished. There are further consultations promised on insolvencies and phoenixes, particularly on entrepreneurs' relief and the extension of that on dilution of shareholdings, the taxation of trusts and partnerships, more on the taxation of trusts, and the government have also promised clarity this year, that's 2017, on the issue of disguised remuneration schemes and how that is going to be followed up upon. He also announced further spending and funding for the NHS, as it was expected, with an immediate cash injection this year of £335 million and another £1.6 billion in the year 2018 to 2019. In other areas, he confirmed that there would be no increase in duty for alcohol except for white cider, which was going to be increased slightly, and that there would be a small increase of 2% plus inflation on tobacco, and an additional 1% in hand rolling tobacco for all you smokers out there. So that's about it for this year's budget. As I said at the beginning, not too much to excite or to get too concerned about either. It was really quite a safe budget, and I suppose in a budget that was potentially designed to attract younger Conservative voters, the moves around stamp duty, land tax and investment into education may well have helped to do that. So that's all from me for now. We do love to hear from you, so if you've got any questions, please do feel free to get in touch, and any comments or feedback also greatly appreciated. Bye for now.